Hello and welcome to this tutorial, and in this tutorial we are going to learn how you could create functions which accepts multiple parameters. So in the previous tutorial we have created a function which used to accept a single value or which used to accept a single parameter, and then it used to use the value inside the function. So let's go ahead and create a function. So we type function and let's create a function which is used to display the result of a particular student. So let's name this function as result, and inside the parentheses, now in this case, as we want to pass on multiple values or multiple parameters, we give the first value as, let's say, name of the student, and to add another parameter we give a comma, and after the comma let's say we specify the second parameter, which is the marks obtained by the student. So let's say we have the parameter as marks. Now once we have these two things in place, now let's go ahead inside the main function and let's type some code to display the name and marks. So we type document dot write, and let's say we want to initially display the name and then we want to display the marks. So we type name, and then in the double quotes we specify the text as your marks are, and then we want to specify the marks obtained by the student. So we type plus marks. Now once we have these things in place, we simply go and give a semicolon to end the statement, and we are done with our function which is going to display the name and marks of the student. Now in order to call the function, we give the function name, which is result, and now we want to pass on two values to the function. The first one would be the name and the next one would be the marks. So let's say we give the name as ABC, let's say the name of the student is ABC, and let's say the marks obtained by him or her are, let's say, 70. So we have successfully called the function, and we have also passed two parameters. So the way in which we pass multiple parameters is that we simply include a comma and then we give the value of the particular parameter. So now if we save this code and if we execute it on the browser, we will get the result as ABC, your marks are 70. So that's how you create a function and you could pass on multiple parameters to it. Now let's say you also want to pass a third parameter to this function. Let's say we want to add a third parameter called grade. So simply go in front of the second parameter, give a comma and add a third parameter called grade, and also go inside this function, and let's say you also want to display the grade. So we type your grade is, and then we go ahead and give a plus sign and we print out the value of grade. So we type grade, and make sure that you include a plus after marks, and that is because we have to include plus if we encounter a double quote in that direction. For example, as there is a double quote here, we need to include the plus sign on the right of the variable name. Now as there are double quotes on both sides of the marks variable, we need to include this plus sign on both sides of the marks. Now as in case of grade, as we are having a quote over here, so we include a plus sign on the left hand side of the grade variable. Now you also need to pass the grade onto the function call. So we go ahead and create a comma, and let's say the student has a grade B. So I'll give a capital B, and now if we save the code and execute it, it is going to display that ABC, your marks are 70 and your grade is B. So you could add on n number of parameters to the function as you want. You just simply need to give a comma after the parameter, and you could add as many parameters to a function as you want. But make sure that the order of the values which you pass to a function is the same order, but the only thing which you need to take care of is that the order in which you pass the parameters is the same order in which you pass the values while calling the function. So for example, you cannot change this to 70 and this to ABC. The order is important here. So if we save the code now and if we execute it, we are going to mess up the order. So make sure that you give these parameters in a correct order. So this would be ABC and this would be 70. So that's how you pass multiple parameters to a function in JavaScript. So that's it for this tutorial, and I'll see you guys in the next tutorial. Thank you.